everybody. Welcome to the Football Fill-In. We got Marc Albrighton with us today. You right, mate?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Very well.
Lovely to see you. Have you enjoyed the Premier League this season?
No.
Let's move it on then. No, genuinely, what have you made of it this year?
I look at it and I just think everything's been sort of tied up a little bit soon. Obviously, you've still got the European places to play for. The title's almost done, really, isn't it? Relegation
sorted.
Has been sorted for a good while now. I just don't enjoy watching it as much anymore. I've got to be honest with you. I think it's a lot slower. Even the top games, they're not as exciting. They're not as end to end. It's all tactical, and I just don't think it's got the fun aspect that it's always had.
Do you know what's interesting about that is that was what Gary Neville and Roy Keane were talking about after the Manchester derby yesterday. Is that there was no risk or jeopardy or going for it. It was all too sterile, and don't come out of your position too much and don't take too many risks because that could expose something, and it just makes for a rubbish spectacle.
That's the way that football's... It's a little bit like basketball. I was watching someone on basketball at the weekend and they're saying that they need to do something about the three-point shooting because the game's just turned into an end-to-end three-point shoot. Yeah. And I feel like, not to that degree, but football has kind of gone that way in terms of, everyone's just an absolute animal of an athlete, and it's tactical and super tactical at that, and we're almost moving away from those flair players that made it happen, that maybe were what we would call a luxury type player.
The flair players are still there. I just don't think they're allowed to do it.
No, I don't think they are. I compare it back to when I was growing up, and I remember watching Chelsea v Barca at Stamford Bridge in the Champions League. And you've got Ronaldinho there, Iniesta, all these players, and those were the games I'd make sure I was in for. Right, I'm in tonight. I'm settled by 7:30, ready to watch these games. Now there's no point because they just disappoint you, don't they? Some of these top games.
It's sad, isn't it? How sad is it?
I was thinking, right, put the barbecue on, get settled in front of the TV, watch the game. It was just...
That's exactly what I did yesterday, right? I had the barbecue on, I was jet spraying, and I had the game on, right? And
what, have you got anything left to jet spray? Mate, every Sunday he's jet spraying.
When you've got a dog, right, you always need to jet spray, right? And out of those three things, the barbecue, the jet spray, or the football, right? The jet spray was the best thing. Yeah. Then it was the barbecue, and then it was the football.
To be fair, Mark, his driveway takes some jet spraying.
Yeah,
miles,
I can imagine. It's
miles long. Yeah. And it was, though, I agree. I was watching it, I was just thinking, there's not really much going on. It doesn't even feel like a derby, does it? There was no challenges rattling around. There was no, the atmosphere, they were talking about the atmosphere, and you're listening, and you don't really feel it. You don't feel like there's two teams that want to kill each other anymore. They're just friends.
I get that there's not too much on it. Obviously, City can't go for the title and United aren't going really for anything. But it's pride, local bragging rights. Them games, there should always be something on them. Yeah. It just looks...
Well, Man City are still fighting for the Champions League places.
Yeah. That's not a done deal.
You look at the league now, and with Villa winning at the weekend as well, and Chelsea picking up a point, it's you just can't call it, because if that's what Man City are going to be given in a massive derby, then I can't guarantee that they're going to go and win their remaining 6 games of the season. Do you know what I mean? To cement that place. So, I don't know. I was just a little bit disappointed with it.
Did you hear the chants? Some quite questionable chants aimed at Phil Foden.
Yeah, it was horrible, wasn't it? I know. But I think Pep handled it quite well at the end of the game, didn't he? It was interesting listening to Gary Neville, though, and Roy Keane at the end of the game, the way they were really scathing about Manchester United as well. Gary Neville actually really interestingly said that there's 5 positions straight away off the get-go that they need to sort out. The front 3, obviously when Xerxes came on, you've got Højlund and Garnacho up there, and then he said about the 2 fullbacks, the 2 wing-backs, who on the day would have been Delap and I don't know whether he meant Mazraoui or Dorgu. I don't know which one he meant, but either way, he's right though, isn't he? He's right, because they're just not up to it.
No, they're not. They're just all over the pitch. They just seem like a yard off the pace, like a yard off it constantly. Every now and again, they'll have a little burst where they'll come into life and you think, oh, these are actually really good players. But for 80% of the season, it's just not showing up.
There's like a lot of people saying, Amarim, they've got given time. But the reality is, you look at his squad. We said this earlier this season, right? They are exactly in the league where their level of squad is, in my opinion.
Without a doubt.
Where they are is that level of squad.
Yeah.
So to think next season, they're going to push for UEFA Cup play, they're not.
No.
Unless something drastically changes. But goalkeeper, like, I'm no goalkeeping expert, but my gosh, like, he is just, safe, would you call it, Ben? Like, every time the ball comes and he doesn't come for a cross and you just think, you've got to go for that.
Yeah,
you've got to go for that. And when you do go for it, you've got to be a bit more aggressive than that.
Yeah,
because he's coming out and his arms flailing. And
there were a few. Yeah, I think obviously there wasn't many chances yesterday of note. There was a couple of saves that he had to make, but I think that's just sort of symptomatic of the team in general. One player I do want to talk about with you actually, Mark, which will be interesting to hear your thoughts on it, is Jack Grealish. Back in the team last week, scored a good goal, did a really nice interview. What do you think the future holds for him?
It would be easy to say he needs a move, like he needs to get away and play a different style, get back to what he was like before. But he has done it at City. Like, he has done it. Like, won the treble there, and he was a key part of that. Like, he was a big player in that. So I just think in his confidence is certainly one of them. But he just needs. I feel like he does need a little bit more freedom than what he's getting. Yeah. Like, because at the minute, like you say, safe with the goalkeeper. Like, everything he does is just so safe. Like, he just comes back and like,
it's not his game, is it?
It's not. And I heard him saying the week about his goals and stuff, and they was talking about, like, right, you've got your first goal since, which is obviously he'll be happy to score, but scoring's never been his main asset. His main asset has been looking exciting, taking players on, being a threat, committing players, and he's just gone away from that.
Do you know what he would suit? He would suit a team that are really good at set plays, because I think for 2 or 3 years in a row at Villa, he was the most fouled player, wasn't he? Yeah. He drew the most fouls in real good positions as well, in and around the 18-yard box, from deliverable positions where if you play for set pieces, that's a massive asset to have, isn't it? Something like that. And if you can get Jack Grealish just back to what he was before, give him a little bit more of a free leash to go and express himself, I think somebody could have him there. I just don't think that Pep's going to let him do that.
Nah, but I think now, so before, because he was taking players on, defenders were diving in, fouling him, whereas now a defender just looks and goes, I'll just stand up and you're going to play it backwards. It's just going to force you back. So there's no need to foul him.
Is that what football's become nowadays?
It has. It has.
It's sad, isn't it? Oh, listen to us.
What about Bruno? So I was watching it yesterday and thinking, like, when they did take him out of the team, but if you take Bruno out of that team...
He's everything, though, isn't he, Bruno? Bruno is so good because he works so hard, and he's so willing, and he wants to get on the ball, and he wants to disrupt, and he wants to tackle, and he's got the whole package, hasn't he?
I think it's helped him of how bad the players are around him, or how bad they're performing around him, because he's felt like he's had to step up and be like the main guy there. Like, I think I've done a bit of a... I've changed my opinion of Bruno.
Really?
I never took to him before. Like, I thought how he was, like, how he carried himself on the pitch and stuff.
It was all the arm
flailing
and stuff.
Whereas now I look at him and I think, actually, like, you are a bit of a leader. Like, you can be a leader. You're stepping up.
I heard on the radio the other day, actually, they were talking about Bruno Fernandes, and they said maybe he's getting to the point where he's a little bit sick and tired of carrying this Manchester United team. And I was thinking about it, and I thought, I don't think he is, I don't think he is sick and tired. I think this is what he thrives off. I think he enjoys being the main man. He enjoys being the person that people look up to and they're expecting things from. Because if he went and signed for anyone else, he's not going to be this Bruno Fernandes, is he?
Nah, he looks less frustrated now than what he did when they're winning. Better than what they are now.
Yeah.
He looks like he looks calmer now. Like, there's less arm throwing. Like, he's just getting... Like, I feel like he does enjoy that burden of having to pick the team.
To produce, yeah.
It does make him tick, though, doesn't he?
He's brilliant. He makes him tick because he wants to get on the ball. He's willing, yeah. There's so many players in that Man United team that didn't really want the ball yesterday and haven't really wanted the ball this season. And when you're playing alongside it, you can see it, can't you?
Yeah.
Because confidence, lads, it's everything. It's everything in football, right? You give me 2 10 out of 10 players ability-wise, right? But one's on 6 out of 10 or 5 out of 10 confidence and the other one's 10 out of 10. It's night and day. Genuinely, it's night and day. And there's been so many players for this Man United team, especially this season, playing yesterday, that you can just see don't really want it, look like they want it, kind of open themselves up a little bit, but then not really kind of make that much space so that they can receive the ball. But he wants it in difficult positions. He wants it when he's got a man up his back. He'll take it all over the pitch, and that's the bit that I just watch and I think, yeah, you're a proper player.
I think I'm exactly the same as you, Mark, with the perception of him, and I think outwardly, I think maybe the fact that he's Portuguese or foreign and he's the captain, and we have this kind of ideal of this is what we want a captain to be in our country. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And because he is a bit theatrical, but anyone I've ever spoke to, like when we do go out doing podcasts, will say the same thing. Great bloke, brilliant influence,
buzz off him.
Amazing.
Everyone buzzes off him.
Great with young players, and you kind of go, actually, if a few hands in the air is the trade-off.
We had Brandon Williams on the podcast a couple of weeks back, and we were talking about Bruno. Yeah. He said he's brilliant. He said honestly, what a player, but 2, just a lovely man. Like everybody loves him around, and everyone like, I like that.
I know a few players that have played with him. Obviously, we had Ricardo Pereira. We had Adrian Silva as well. That they played with him at Portugal. Then obviously Johnny Evans, Harry Maguire played with him at United. All of them. Not a bad word to say about him.
Nice. Should we talk about Arsenal dropping points? I feel like they conceded this title a little bit easily, a little bit early as well, as I'm really disappointed in them because there's been a couple of results lately where if they could have got 3 points, it would still be open. With Liverpool losing yesterday, it would still be open. There's still a glimmer of light. But what they've done is they've made this season boring for everybody.
I think they
now we know
away in January.
We know Liverpool have won the league now, and they've just kind of given up a little bit. The draw against Everton, you need more from Arsenal. You need that more from Arsenal. If Arsenal have absolutely battered them and they've had so many more chances, then cool. But Everton had chances themselves. It wasn't a penalty. Jack Harrison penalty is not a penalty all day long. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a coming together. I think it could go either way. Yeah. It's probably more of a free kick to Arsenal.
Do you not reckon?
Because he's got his arm across.
Do you not reckon, right? Because he's given it as a penalty on the pitch, right? Surely, I get that they want to stick with the referee's decision, right? They're trying to promote, like, if a referee actually makes a decision, then stick with it. Cool, I get that. But surely, when you look that one back, you go, no, come on, like, it's not a penalty, is it?
I don't understand how. The only thing you can think is that they're looking at the rules of the game so strictly. Even then though, but everything is completely. There's no room for interpretation, or there doesn't seem to be enough room for interpretation. Because anybody that played football in a playground or Sunday league or anything, you could see that and go, if anything, it's a foul the other way. If anything,
this is what I mean. Like, there's been so many decisions, like, and there's so much, like, that VAR look at. And, you know, after they've looked at it and they still give what we would perceive as the wrong decision and what most people would perceive as the wrong decision, that's the frustrating part of it for me. Like, I just look at it and I go, what is it here for? Like, what is it here for?
It's supposed to be black and white, right?
Yeah.
But still, right? It's not, because they can choose whether or not they want to give that, yeah? If somebody in the VAR room felt strongly enough about it, he could get into the ear of the referee and say, no, it's not a penalty. It's not a penalty. And the referee would have to listen to that and go, yeah, actually, I agree. I think I've probably been a bit too rash at giving that and giving it as a penalty.
Can they
not
do what we spoke about a couple of weeks ago, like, you know, in rugby or something, where they go, is there any reason why I can't allow that goal? Is that a penalty, yes or no? Should this be overturned, yes or no? Surely we're going to get better results, because I think we're at the point with it now where you've said in the past they kind of spin the decision a little
whatever
bit.
Suits them.
I think we're in a position now where they need to be dragging either referees or PGMOL or whoever it is, officials, out after the game and explain their decisions.
I totally agree.
Because the following day, we had it last week, Mark, breaking news, they've overturned this, or they've admitted they were wrong. 24 hours later, it's too late.
Don't help anyone.
Don't help anyone.
No.
We want to hear from them because at this point, there's so many shit decisions being made. It's just not fun for the fan going to the game, is it?
Nah, I feel like they can just hide behind stuff like like don't get me wrong, nobody's going out there to make the wrong decision. Like everybody's going out to do the best, do what they think at the time, and they're going to get some wrong. Like I do understand that they are going to get some wrong, but when you've got the backup of the VAR and then you don't have to defend yourself after, like you're saying, like there's no accountability.
Yeah,
don't
that's
see
the word,
any accountability
yeah.
because it's not even. How often do you see a referee? Sorry, he gets demoted to the Championship. It's very, very rare, unless it's an absolute howler. It never happens.
No, it don't.
So there is no. Did
you see, lads, right? This is completely separate from the PGML and VAR. It's nothing to do with you lot, all right? Don't worry about it, right? I saw a picture on the internet the other day, right? It was like the VAR room in like the Russian league or something like that.
God,
Luke's not
seen it.
So they've gone like zoomed into the VAR room and you've got like 3 refs all with like monitors everywhere. One of the refs has got his like betting app. Oh my God. Nah. It's incredible, isn't it? Like, I don't nobody knows whether he's betting on that game or whatever, but just imagine, like, he's got the referees there and he's going, lads, don't give that as a penno, please. I've got them +1, so if that kills me.
7-1 here, got a score on it. But, Fozzie, let me ask you then. So, if Arsenal would have had Villa's window in January, do you think there'd be a race now for the title? Yeah,
without doubt. Villa injected so much enthusiasm and pace and speed and showing that they're willing to give it a go, right? And they're bearing the fruits of it now, because look at Villa's season. Let's talk about Villa a little bit, by the way, because the game against Forest at the weekend is just exactly the sort of game that we want to see, right? Two very good teams, by the way, just slugging it out at each other, giving it a real go, attacking football, trying to score goals, taking risks. It was so good to watch, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I look at Villa and we talk about the business that they've done in January, and it just come at the perfect time because they got to a point where they did look a little bit leggy, they looked tired with the Champions League, and whereas now that's brought not only on the field, but it's brought an excitement of everyone around the club as well. Like the names that they've signed, like if you look 5 years ago, like, and then you've got these now. Like
you were there 5 years ago.
Exactly. I rest my case. But yeah, look, if you look at them now and the trips that they're going on, the players that they're watching, it's incredible.
Thing is, I've got so many like Villa fans, mates, who like they're like dads of the kids at football, Louis football, and they're all like away days here and there. They've got away days in Bruges. They go.
I saw some geezers the other day in Bruges. Getting amongst it.
He's there tomorrow
Paris as well.
He's in Paris as well for the PSG game. But it's such a good time to be a Villa fan. It really
amazing.
Is. FA Cup semi-final, trip after trip. FA Cup semi-final. They've got a Wembley trip coming up. They've got a Paris trip coming up. Like they could still finish top 4 in the Premier League as well. It's incredible.
Would Villa fans be too disappointed if they didn't win a cup and came 5th?
I think this season is a success for them, full stop. If they lose every game now until the end of the season, it leaves a little bit of a sour taste in your mouth. But I think every Villa fan will tell you that this has been one of the best seasons in their history of supporting Aston Villa.
So if they 5th, no cups, would Villa fans be happy?
Yeah, I still think they'd be happy.
But does that put the pressure on next season to go, OK, well, this goodwill only lasts so long?
Yeah. I think that is the case. I think next season they'll need to not so much win a trophy, but be back up there in the Champions League, because obviously if they get in the Europa League next season, like it's not as good, is it? It's not as good as these trips. But if you ask any Villa fan that's followed Villa for their lifetime, this season, they will say that this season has just been absolutely incredible. When I was out in Bruges, like, honestly, that day where we were sitting in this square, the weather was nice, you've got all the Villa fans, thousands of them, all these Villa fans, and everybody's just having the time of their life, like the best time of their life.
Have you done that before?
I did it in Germany with
Yeah,
England.
the Euros.
And I enjoyed it then, and then this was something else.
How much do you enjoy it? Is it all like new and shiny to you?
It is, yeah. Like I've said this before. Like, so obviously my dad got me into football, got me into Villa, and he was at when they won the European Cup, so he was there. So it was sort of, I was desperate to go and do something like that with him. Yeah. And I was able to, and that for me, like being with my dad in that Villa away end, and like spending that like couple of days with my dad, watching the Villa, it was honestly
like memories for life.
Magic.
That's
memories
what it is.
for life.
But like that Villa, they've backed it up from last season as well, though. So finishing the Champions League last season, you could go maybe it's a one-off season for them. But what they've done is they've not only backed it up, they've gone and probably done a bit better as well. Yeah, possibly Champions League, FA Cup semi-finalists. Quarter-final Villa, quarter-final of the Champions League.
When you look at their team and their squad, like genuinely man-to-man, I was looking at this yesterday, right, and I was thinking, would it be outlandish to say that if they got 2 or 3 more bodies in over the summer, that they couldn't be at the sharp end of the Premier League next season?
Yeah, that's a good shout, you know.
I think they could be.
I do.
Do you know what I really like about them and the players that they've got is, like we were speaking about with Bruno, they'll all take it in, like, whether they've got 2 or 3 players around. Yeah. Like, Morgan Rogers will have the ball in any situation. Yuri Tielemans, Asensio, like, all these players will just take the ball. Like, they're not bothered. Yeah. Like, if somebody's around Jacob Ramsey, young lad, like, he'd do exactly the same. So they're just comfortable having the ball, and I think Unai Emery has got them playing with so much confidence that they just want the ball. Every player wants the ball.
Could we see Villa win the Premier League?
They carry on like this, they really can. I was just thinking about them when you said if they added a couple more, and you're exactly right, because if you look at the big boys in the Premier League right now, you're talking the Arsenals and the Liverpools, right? I think if they were to play Villa tomorrow, it's about a 50-50 game. It's about a 50-50 game, isn't it? And if you add a couple more big boys into that Villa team, I think they've got a right chance as well.
Where do you think they would need to add a couple more?
Defence for me.
Probably a defender. I still think they need another big boy striker. I don't know if Rashford's going to be the answer. I don't know if he's going to be the answer. When he came on in the Forest game the other day, they were 2-0 up at the time, right? And I was thinking, what would Rashford's objectives be here? I think when Emery brings him on, he'd have said, right, Marcus, right, we're 2-0 up, yeah? Forest have had some good chances in that first half. I'm going to need you to get hold of the ball for me, all right? I'm going to need you to try and get it down and get us up the pitch. And there were a couple of times where they've gone long into him and he was not willing to stick his head up there. He's not willing to get hurt physically, and the ball just came back, and it just came back. And I just kept thinking, if Villa had a strong youth there, I was going to say Rory Delap, a Liam Delap, right? Somebody that could hold it up for them and get everybody up the pitch in those moments, I think he would benefit them massively.
Is he the type of player that would fit?
I think he'd fit into I think Liam Delap would fit into any team. I really do. He's almost a plan B for a lot of teams, but I think for some teams he would be a real big plan A. He really, really would. I'm not saying he's going to start ahead of Ollie Watkins, but I still think he would really benefit that team.
I think maybe a little bit of extra cover at full-back. Maybe one more in the middle.
Yeah, I certainly think one more centre back. Like, I like the ones they've got now. I think and I think Tyrone Mings, that his sort of rise and how he's travelled with the club from where he was with his injuries as well has been incredible. But I do feel like if one, maybe 2 of them got injured at any point, it's they're bare bones in that position.
John McGinn coming on, though. You see John McGinn coming on, he's just like, lovely, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's classic. He's just lovely, isn't he?
He's another one that's just, he's like rose with the club, and it's amazing.
It's lovely.
I don't think he gets the credit he deserves.
No, he's a great player, yeah. Jacob Ramsey, what a player. Like, you can just see, can't you? Sometimes you see, and you think, he's a young kid and they're giving him a chance and they're blooding him just to see what he can do. But he's far past that now. Like, he's a genuine player, a proper player. He's got all of it. He's got all of it, hasn't he?
No, he has. He's unbelievable. I think, so I had this problem when I was at Villa, and I half see it a little bit with him. So I think he would be a better player if he was to move. As much as I'd love to see Jacob Ramsey stay at the club, I think, especially with all the big names around him, he'll always be known as the youth academy graduate.
Yeah.
Like, whereas I think if he goes to another club, he steps in and he's a big part of it. He's a big part of someone's midfield.
Is that right? You need to explain this then, okay? Because I think it's a really important point, right? Is when you have come up through the ranks, you are still looked at as young Jacob Ramsey or young whoever you are, and he's just a kid, and we don't really need to pin that many hopes on it.
And we don't have to pay him as much as Asensio.
And we don't have to pay him as much as the big boys. If he gets a move to another team for 50 million quid and he's on that 150 grand, he walks in there with broader shoulders, with this confidence that somebody has paid a lot of money for him, and now there's expectation. And if he can deal with it and rise to it, you'll see even more from Jacob Ramsey, wouldn't you?
100%. If he gets if he was to go to a club with the right manager to help him out, that believes in him, if he goes there, like you say, for a few quid as well, like, he's going to be walking in on top of the world, and he could be the force of someone's midfield. Whereas I feel if he's as much from a selfish point of view as a Villa fan, I want to see him stay there, and I want for his career. In my personal opinion,
it's something we were talking to Brandon Williams about this last week, Matt, and he was saying, like, Manchester lad. It's a little bit with Rashford, the similar situation where sometimes it all just becomes that bubble becomes a bit much for them, and they kind of almost need that move. Now we talk about Rashford, and we're going off topic slightly here, but Luke Humphries, the darts player, came out this week and said, what did he say then? He's saying that he feels like it's a bit of a chore for him at the moment.
Yeah, playing darts at the minute is just...
The schedule's too much.
It's too much, and I think what he means is, right, and he got shot down for it, by the way. He said it, and he got shot down for it massively. Everybody's moaning, saying, oh, you've got all this new money, you've got all this new focus on darts, the darts world is booming, everybody wants to play darts. Like, just be grateful, basically. But I think until you're in it, you need to understand what he's saying. What he means is, with all of this new interest, with all of the new money and the new Premier League and the new darts schedule and tournaments all over the world, he will be constantly on the go with all the new sponsorships as well. He'll have so many more media days and sponsored events that he needs to turn up to. From what it was a couple of years ago to what it is now, I bet it's chalk and cheese. Completely chalk and cheese.
Well, I want to hear your boys' opinion on this, because the easiest thing in the world to do, and we both have been on the back end of it, I'm sure, will go, what you want about, mate? You're earning 50 grand a week, or you've got no right to moan. Try working 50 hours on a building site. I saw that one, Brandon Williams, try working on a building site in Sunderland in January, mate, and then all this stuff. It's different. And this is so Luke's put out a post, and then he's followed it up after a bit of backlash saying, considering the comments, people not understanding what I meant, it will be the last time I ever confess my real feelings to the public. Everything I say or do just never seems to be good enough for anybody. As long as no one complains when we all give the same answers in interviews like robots and not our true feelings, then everyone, I guess, will be happy.
Yeah.
What do you make of that?
Yeah, so that's the whole point of it as well. Like you've got to. They expect you to be robots. They expect you to just give this is incredible. I'm having the best time ever. And you've got to understand that they are human beings, aren't they? They're human beings. When you're a footballer and you're getting dragged from pillar to post, and you've got to still smile and give it the big one, and you've got to pin on that face and zip on that mask as you always do. But it don't work like that all the time, does it?
As well, like everybody, whether it's fans or just people that support that sport, they really want to see players or participants of that sport from a bit more of a human level.
Yeah.
And that's why they follow them on social media. That's why these documentaries are coming out from various places, because they want to see like a bit of a behind the scenes bit of
they want to see their personality.
All of a sudden, he's showing his personality. He's letting people know what he thinks and how he feels.
Yeah.
People are shooting him down.
Yeah. They want to see the personality until that personality says that I'm not really enjoying this at the minute. And then it's like, no, you don't get to say that, all right?
And I think that is the case. Like, I don't know about you. Like, I had spells in football where I just hated football.
Yeah.
I hated
Did you
football
really?
at some points, Hated it, couldn't wait to get home, like, just didn't enjoy it. That weren't all the time. And for sort of 85% of my career, I absolutely loved it. But there was times where I just didn't enjoy it. I didn't enjoy the politics and the...
Did you feel guarded, though, who you could speak to about that? Because if you're friends and family, they'll get that, right?
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I guess you're really wary of saying that to anyone because of that instant reaction of what you got to worry about.
I never would have.
Or what you moaning about.
I never would have said it. Like I didn't say it to anyone.
You wouldn't.
Not even
you
family,
wouldn't have said it. He wouldn't have said it in the football club, and then you wouldn't say it in the media either, because you worry about the backlash across the board, don't you? You worry about somebody at the football club getting wind of it and then looking at you a little bit differently and thinking, I don't know whether he's ready for the game on the weekend because of what he said in the week. And then if you go and say it in the media as well, you get comeback like this. You get everybody commenting and saying, just be grateful for what you've got. It's not as simple as that.
There are a section of fans, and listen, if they don't like it, they don't like it. But having money does not mean you cannot have mental health problems.
No.
And it is as simple as that.
Simple as
right?
that.
Listen, it's a big worry, right? And if you're earning a lot of money like Luke Humphries is and a lot of players are, I get it, right? It takes the pressure off. And if you're trying to feed a family, I really do understand that. But you can still have problems. You're not immune to it.
Luke Humphries as well, yeah. He is really famous now. Him and Luke Litleb, right? They're really famous.
Football level.
Especially amongst the football crowd, especially amongst the 15 to 35, 45-year-olds, right? They will go anywhere and they're getting people shouting their name and they're calling them this and that and they're asking for pictures. Can you sign this? And they feel like they own them, yeah? All the fans feel like they own them. They can pull them apart and they can pick them apart. And it must be hard to live with that.
Because as well, like, Luke Humphries strikes me as the type of person that he didn't get into darts for the fame and for the celebrity status.
Yeah.
Like, he got into darts for the love of darts. Same as like footballers will get into football for the love of football most of the time, like because you love having a kick around with your mates when you're younger and you just love the sport. So all of a sudden, all this other stuff has been thrown upon you that you don't really enjoy.
Yeah, and you don't know how to deal with it either.
No.
Nobody's teaching
I've got a question. What percentage of professional darts players started playing darts at a social club with their dad or their parents? Or
100%. Absolutely 100%. Yes, guaranteed. They'd be getting dragged up the club and you'd be playing snooker or watching your dad play snooker or your brothers play snooker because you're not allowed to get on the table because you're too young and you can't reach it anyway.
Imagine how many dads are taking like their lads now to
damn right
club to try and do it now.
Mate, it's class. I've been saying this.
Best,
this is like this old man thing. I think there's going to be a huge boom in social clubs.
I hope so.
Coming back,
they need it, mate. Honestly, they need it. The Lillington Club, shout out
Big up Lillington Club.
That's our local snooker club. Like,
class.
We're still up there. Like I play for my dad's snooker team, so I'm up there every Wednesday. But you need more people up there to keep it going, keep business booming, buying pints. That's what we need. All right.
Right. Should we get back to footy?
Yeah, may as well, haven't we?
What should we talk about? What about Ange? Does Ange need to? Is he in a Ten Hag situation where, if he wins the UEFA Cup, has he kept his job? Is he going to go? What's your thoughts?
Do you want to answer that one first?
Cheers. I think he stays regardless, Ida. I think he'll stay regardless. I think, obviously if he wins the cup, then brilliant. Like it sort of, he don't come out of this season with total lack of what's the word? Yeah, I think obviously with their league form has been horrendous. So he needs this to come out with some kind of credibility.
Yes.
There we go. Yeah. So, but I think he still stays in a job either way.
What about you, Ben? And I said UEFA Cup there, Europa League, showing my age.
I like the way that he continues to double down on not giving a fuck. Right? I love it, yeah. I absolutely buzz off it, right? Because he's done it from the get-go and people loved it, and then he carried on and people hated it, and now he's carrying on and everyone's like, actually, do you know what? Like, he stands up for what he believes in, and he says
got to respect
exactly
him for that.
He says exactly what he believes in, and he says exactly what he thinks. And the thing that he was talking about the other day with the fans, with the mobile phones, and they're putting it in your face, and they just want to react. He's exactly right. He is exactly right. They are angling at a certain something. They want to see a reaction so they can send it to mate, put it on some social media, get a bit of clout, and that's what it's about.
It's a slightly bigger kind of I guess, social
it's exactly
situation
that, yeah. Exactly
that he's
what it is,
calling out, and he's calling it for what it is, and he's saying it's a bullying tactic. I don't like it. Yeah. If it appears in a school or a workplace, and I'm going to stand up to it. And he's absolutely bang on the money, isn't he?
Yeah. I love listening to him. I have done all season. I think the way he comes across is incredible, and I fully agree with him with what he's saying in them comments. I fully agree with what he's saying, because in any other line of work or any other part of society, like if you're doing that to someone and just taunting them,
mate, you're getting punched in the face.
You're getting hit.
You're getting.
He's expected
punched,
to just do nothing.
Yeah, you imagine going on a building site and going.
Do you remember the geezer at Blues? Do you remember the geezer at Blues that did it to Troy?
Oh, mate.
See the video? I thought he was going to get the old haymaker.
He's lucky the camera was on him. That's the only reason why he didn't get a punch in the face. But that's like I say, it's a bigger issue. It's society. That's the way that it goes now. But I think Jamie Redknapp was the one that came out this week, didn't he? He said that you can't lose 16 games at a club like Tottenham because he expects him to go. He expects him to leave.
That's a bit of a cop-out, right? We've had this discussion earlier on in the season. At a club like Tottenham, because they're a winning machine. They win loads of Premier Leagues,
they're
FA Cups.
Yeah. You would expect, like, I think if you look at a lot of football clubs in the Premier League, you can almost guarantee where they will finish in the Premier League, probably plus or minus 2 or 3 positions.
4th to 8th? Is that Tottenham?
Yeah, you should be able to anyway. So you would like to think Tottenham touching top 4, but could be as low as probably 8th. Agreed?
Yeah. Probably.
But where are they at the minute?
Where are they? 15th, are they?
That's the bit there that Tottenham fans.
But are they? Because when you watch them, like you don't get like with United, you kind of get the impression watching them they're a long way from where they need to be. But with Spurs, like I don't always get that impression. Like watching them, you think they don't feel like they're far away from really getting it right.
Yeah, I think it's just been a massive transition season for them as well. A lot of young players coming in and blooding them in as well. And maybe the future will be bright for them. But I think I agree with you, Mark. I think he'll be there next season.
Yeah, I just don't think they've got a fear factor anymore.
No.
Or say anymore. Like, I don't think they've got that fear factor that the top teams have got. Like, growing up, I remember like when I was going and watching the Villa when I was a kid, it was Villa were on a par with sort of Man City and Tottenham, and those 3 teams, and then there was teams above them, but those 3 teams were sort of on a par. Obviously, Man City have gone to whole new levels, and Villa have had their down. But like, I don't feel like because Tottenham haven't won anything since that, so I don't see what gives them the right to think that they're a top club.
I think the big problem for Spurs was losing Harry Kane. I think as soon as you took Harry Kane out of that equation, and that duo that he had with Son for all them years, you can't replace that. Nobody can replace that. Man United, Man City, Arsenal, you can't replace it. If you lose that partnership and that individual player, guarantee of goals, you can't replace it, no matter how much money you've got. Yeah, you just can't replace it. And I think as soon as you lose that, everybody goes, oh, they can't just score goals willy-nilly. That means that we can get on the front foot against.
So if he stays next season, what is the expectation? 5th, 6th type.
It has to be.
Finish and have a decent run in a cup. Is that where Spurs really are?
Yeah, that's
or where they want to be.
Where Spurs
because
are.
They've got, like you said, Mark, they've got no reason to the fans have got no real reason to start going, we should be challenging.
Yeah,
they haven't.
I think it's because the teams around them, like you obviously see Arsenal now, like for so long they finished 4th, but now they've sort of got a consistency now where they're sort of challenging for the title. So I don't think 5th, 6th is where they want to be. Yeah. I think they want to be higher, but I don't think they've got any right to think.
Especially with the level of the Prem, we talk about it every week now, and you've got teams like your Newcastles, your Bournemouths, your Brentfords, Brightons, Fulhams, really good football.
It's like top 10 now. Breaking into the top 10 now is hard work.
Yeah.
Like really hard work. Like any one of those top 10 teams could beat each other.
Yeah.
Genuinely. You're talking your Brightons and your Bournemouths and Villas could beat the team at the top of the league. Guaranteed. Any Saturday now. It's hard work.
Right,
it really, really
before
is.
we move on from Spurs, Brennan Johnson's got a brace.
Yeah.
Yeah. He goes through, wins the penalty, and then Matthias Tel takes the ball off him for his first goal, and Brennan Johnson doesn't get his hat-trick.
How does that happen?
I have no
Matthias Tel's 19 years old, right?
And he's just signed for the club. Like, it's not like he's the regular penalty taker. Like, he's just signed for the club. Maybe they just want to, like, to get into the...
To get him going or something.
I really don't know. If I'm Brennan Johnson there, I'm demanding that penalty.
But you don't want to cause a fuss,
But you don't want to cause a fuss.
So who's the club captain? Right?
Well,
surely.
Who is the club captain at Tottenham?
Son, Maddison, Romero.
Whoever's the senior player on the pitch surely has to go. That's his pen.
Obviously, it depends on who's on penalty duty anyway. So before every game, the players will know who's on penalty duty, right?
Who's on penalties?
There will be a dedicated player.
Son, Maddison and Solanke were all off the pitch.
Right.
So at that point then, it kind of goes to the players to sort of sort it out between themselves, right? Yeah. But either way, if I'm Brennan Johnson, I've already scored 2 goals, I'm buzzing, I'm high on confidence, right? If Matthias Towell tries to even get anywhere near that penalty box, I'll be going, nah, mate,
but
come
like
on.
You say, though, do you want to be, like, is Brennan Johnson just being a good lad here and going, do you know what?
Yeah, maybe.
It's not a vanity of a hat-trick, and he's 19, he wants the pen, and I don't want to be the guy that's arguing on Match of the Day when they're kicking off.
It's all lovely that he scored, right? It's all lovely that
he
got
saved.
But if he didn't score it, I tell you, there would be some proper fallout from this, wouldn't there?
Yeah, and rightly so as well.
Damn
rightly
right
so. He has to take the penalty.
Yeah,
there's no two ways about it.
I'm with you, mate. Shambles, absolute shambles.
Wolves are safe. Your nemesis?
No, not my nemesis. I've got no ill feeling towards Wolves whatsoever.
They've got a lot of ill feeling to you, I can tell you that.
Do you know what? You know what's funny, right? At half-time, Ipswich, I think, were 1-0 up at half-time, or when they were 1-0 up anyway, somebody tweeted me, a Wolves fan, and put, I can just see after the game, Alex Palmer's going to be putting a tweet out saying something like, we love beating the Wolves, and putting it as like a 1 and a 5 in the Wolves name or something. I did a tweet like that ages ago. Wolves fans hate me for it.
Right.
Because obviously Alex Palmer, the Ipswich goalie, played for West Brom.
Yeah.
But anyway, they turned it round. Fair play to them. Won the game 2-1. Relegation sorted. That was the game for Ipswich. That is the big game there. When you're 1-0 up and it's the literally the season-defining moment, you've got to hold on. As simple as that, you've got to hold on. And they didn't. And fair play to Wolves, because they were the only team really looking like they wanted to go and score more goals.
Yeah, they were. So Wolves are safe now, which is obviously good news.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of strikers we want to talk about. So, Strand Larsen for Wolves. Debut seasons, right, for a team like Wolves. So if you come into a Arsenal or a City or whatever, you're playing in a very, very good team. But to score 11 goals in 29 Premier League games in your debut season, that's pretty good return, isn't it, Mark?
Yeah, it is. I watched them the other day against West Ham. And I thought Wolves as a team, I thought especially first half, they're unbelievable. Like they had an identity about them, like how they pass the ball. And he was the focal point of it. Like he was the guy up top where everything they were playing off him, and he was like the mainstay there. So yeah, I've been so impressed with him to get the goal return as well. Like obviously with Cunha having missed so many games this year through suspension, and it was important that they had someone to step in and be their focal point.
Do you think we're kind of... We've talked about City slightly changing how they get the ball forward at points this season. Do you think we're moving back to a time, or do you think we're going to come back to a time, Ben, where having a big lump up front, not a lump necessarily, but a real focal point? Because Graham Potter said at the weekend with West Ham, he goes, getting Fulcrum on, he goes, it just changed it for us.
Did you hear what he said? He didn't go long ball. He said we could go more vertical.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, we could go more vertical.
Oh, it's brilliant, isn't it? Like the language being used nowadays is phenomenal, right? Yeah, we just went long. We just pumped it long. But I like it, mate. I like it because the Premier League has got so used to these little intricate players, and it's pass and move and pass and move and pass and move. There's definitely a place now for a big un, like a Liam Delap, like a Strand Larsen, and I like to see it, mate.
You look at a Liam Delap, you look at a big un with legs.
Yeah.
I'm talking Mateta, Delap, right? And they'll stretch the line, they'll hold the ball, won't bounce back off them, they can move, they're strong, they're good in the air. And actually, when you're playing like a 3, I guess, that's everything you want, isn't it?
Quickly, look at the scoring stats there. 12 in 30 for Liam Delap this season.
In that team.
12 in 30 for a relegated team, yeah? Strand Larsen, 11 in 29 for a team that's been flirting with relegation.
Yeah.
That's unreal.
Yeah, that's top-level stats. It is top-level stats.
Isn't it?
For that situation as well. Like, it's unbelievable. Because I bet they probably thought, especially Ipswich, that they probably thought at the start of the season, if we can score goals, we'll have enough to stay up. We'll have enough to stay up if we score. They've scored goals and they've still...
It's brutal, mate. I'm just... You look at the bottom three and they've been cut adrift now. They've been cut adrift.
Yeah.
Southampton gone already, the earliest relegated team in Premier League history, which is not a record that you want. But you look at the teams just above that relegation zone and you just worry for the teams that are going to get promoted next season. Your West Ham, your Wolves, your Everton, those teams that are sort of there and thereabout, they're strong teams.
They are.
Like Wolves, I agree with you. Wolves are a very good team. Like some of those Brazilian Portuguese players that they've got, very, very good players.
Yeah.
I just think that next season, we're just going to see the same again. The three promoted teams are going to end up getting relegated and cut adrift probably as early as this again.
Would you ever want, right, here's a question for you. If we have 2 relegated teams or 3 relegated teams and maybe had a 4th team, would you ever want to be in a position where we have like a relegation playoff? Or something?
Between 3rd from bottom and 4th from bottom?
So, or even 4th from bottom and 5th from bottom?
No, what you could
Something
do
like
is
that.
You could go 3rd from bottom in the Premier League, plays 3rd from top in the Championship.
No, you'd have to put an extra place in.
Yeah, they
Sure
do
they do
something
that in
like that,
Scotland,
yeah.
You'd have to put an extra place in.
Let's not mess about with it, right? It is what it is, all right? It works like it
This
works.
is the problem with football. It's
Exactly.
just getting messed around.
People just trying to tinker too much.
What's like that Belgian league like? Do you remember Simon Mignolet telling us about
pathetic, mate.
Wow.
That Jupiler League, it's pathetic. We're not even mentioning it because it's so pathetic, right? Okay. The way that they do it, the top 6 play this, and then they play a playoff, and then it's horrible, mate.
The MLS, and they don't even have relegation or promotion.
Nothing, mate. And then they play against the Western Conference or the Eastern Conference, and so it don't really matter where you finish in the league or
You can
anything
finish
like that.
7th and win the league in some leagues. Yeah.
And then you have teams that just get a wild card into the finals.
No, I don't know about that.
No, they do. I
Do they?
promise you they do. They have wild cards into the thing. That's why like Messi and Miami are always there because they just get the wild card.
No, that's not true.
I swear down. I swear down. Either way, should we just quickly? Where's Liam Delap going to go? We've got the quiz in a minute. Where's Liam Delap going to go? Because he is leaving Ipswich, guaranteed.
I've got him as a West Ham, perfect fit for West Ham.
I think he's going to be looking a bit higher than that. I do.
Isak's replacement at Newcastle.
Where's Isak going to go then?
Oh,
Villa.
Delap, Villa. Where could Delap go then? Yeah.
Yeah, I think he'll have an awful lot
Newcastle.
of teams looking at him.
What about
I
you,
really
Ben?
do.
Where do you think?
That's the beauty of Liam Delap. I think he's probably got 10 teams looking at him genuinely in the Premier League because he's a plan A for a few and he is an unreal plan B for a lot of them as well.
How much?
It's going to be 60 mil.
Much?
It's going to be 60 mil just because of his age. He's young. He's shown what he can do. He's aggressive. I think he'd be a fantastic addition for any of them 10 teams.
Well, that's, he's got 12 and 30. What does 15 Premier League goals cost you? If you were to say 60 mil, you'd probably go, fair?
What's Liam Delap, 21?
Something like that.
It's incredible.
Yeah, he's young.
It's incredible. Guarantee you he's got a sneaky long throw in him as well, like his dad. He must have the same muscles.
Yeah.
He must have those same big, like, what would it be? Traps? It's got to be traps or something like that.
He could be a track sprinter. He could be a rugby sevens player. He's built like an animal.
22 years
What
old.
have United strikers got? What has Hoyland got this season? Like, how many goals?
One, is it, or two?
He scored his first goal last week, didn't he, in like 24 games or something like that?
I mean, and he's in a relegation. Like, I know United aren't
Man
well, but in a
United,
team
Man
like
United should sign him. Man United could sign him. He would suit them down to the ground as well.
3 in 26.
He would improve Man United. He'd improve Man United.
Would he go there? Didn't he come from City?
Yeah, he did
Is
go.
there a little bit?
City. I don't know. When they're willing to pay you 150 grand a week, mate, I think you'd go there.
Turn up, don't you?
Yeah, you'd turn up.
What about Liverpool? We're going to have to... What do we say about Liverpool?
It was a good game.
First defeat in 20.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I don't know if you watched it, lads. I really enjoyed the game, though. Fulham are a good team. Fulham are a really good team.
Yeah,
lads.
yeah,
They
they
are.
are.
Do you know, quickly, the Munoz goal, right? This is why I think assists, are a joke.
Yeah.
Assists in football, for me, I'm not having it. I'm not having it as a stat that you can hang your hat on, right? Alex Iwobi, the ball comes to him.
Made a living out of it.
Alex Iwobi, right, has just The ball's dropped to him and he's just booted it in the air, booted it, right? Even the crowd have gone, way, because he's just booted it, yeah? Munoz, back to goal, 20 yards out, takes it in his touch, backwards, through one-on-one, goal. Iwobi gets the assist for that.
Whilst holding Van Dijk
Van Dijk off. Mate, it was incredible, wasn't it?
Unbelievable.
The touch by Munoz was phenomenal.
Yeah.
But it was a wicked game. It really was a wicked game. Liverpool could have got something late on as well. Harvey Elliott rattled the crossbar and they were throwing the kitchen sink at it as well. Poor Andy Robertson for the second goal.
Yeah.
I felt so...
I don't know what he's tried.
I know. So he's tried the crossfield ball. 1, mistake, gets cut out. 2, drops down to him. He's tried to sort of half-header it, ended up shouldering it straight to, was it Iwobi, I think it was? And then he's gone and sort of like turned his, like, and he's taken the deflect. 3 mistakes leading up to, I felt so sorry for it.
I know. It all led from the crossfield pass. But
I know.
I looked and I thought, you've not even tried to put enough on.
Yeah, I know. It's almost like he didn't see him or something. Maybe he was hidden by one of the players or something, I don't know.
Yeah, I did feel.
But yeah, Fulham are a good team, mate. Fulham are a really good team. Fair play to them. They give it a go, they did.
What about this M23 derby? I said to you before the show, M23 derby, and you went, nah.
It's not for me. It was feisty though.
Yeah,
we would have liked this in the Manchester derby.
Maybe the derby ain't for you, but maybe for Palace and Brighton, maybe it is an actual derby. Do you know what I mean? Maybe they do feel, because by all accounts they do have a little bit of a rivalry, and that's definitely translated onto the pitch as well, because there were 3 red cards as well. There was no doubt about it. There were 3 red cards.
What about Nketiah? What were you saying about?
It's a red card. Mate, he's just studded him. Like,
no, what about the dive? Because
the first yellow card.
Yeah, the first yellow.
Yeah, it's understandable.
He caught him.
But once you're on a yellow card, though, what he did to get the red card, it's a red card. It's as simple as that. As was Gahey, as was Van Heckers. They're all red cards, aren't they? Simple as that.
Yeah, none of them were wrong, were they?
Palace are flying, though. Palace, honestly, what a season they've had. From the start that they got off to as well, they were proper relegation candidates. They were calling for the manager. Genuinely, they were calling for him earlier in the season as well.
I was reading yesterday that rumoured Glasner over to Germany But they look at their squad, Mark. Like, they've got proper players.
They win their game in hand. They go above Bournemouth. What a season that is.
And Bournemouth have been portrayed to have had this
unbelievable season. If they win, they go above Bournemouth and they go 1 point behind Brighton. If they win their game in hand. That's
if they keep the squad, where could they finish next season?
I think top 10 will always be a massive season for Crystal Palace, but it wouldn't surprise because they have got the players to do it. They've got to keep hold of them players first and foremost, because I'm sure there's going to be a few people sniffing that midfield.
Could they do a Forest? Could they ever go on that kind of
I don't think you're ever far away from doing it. I think now football's changed so much that you're never far away from having a Tottenham season, and you're never far away from having a Nottingham Forest season.
A big part of that is confidence and momentum.
Confidence, momentum, just learning what suits your players best, what formation, what system suits your team best. And it's good to see, though, because it shows that it can be done. Yeah, you don't always have to chuck money at it like Chelsea have done, like other teams have done. You ain't got to chuck money at it. If you can get a proper coach like an Unai Emery or a Nuno, you can do it. It's nice, isn't it?
I think Leicester typifies that in the league and then get relegated.
Oh, mate, it's been...
You're never too far away.
Before we go to the quiz, Leicester, it's been a painful season, hasn't it, mate?
Yeah, I'm going tonight, Newcastle at home tonight.
Would you expect much?
No.
It's horrible, isn't it?
Oh, it's awful, isn't it?
Is that what the mood's like around it?
I've not been there too much, but I think everyone's just resigned to the fact now. I have been for a few weeks. Yeah, it's painful.
They went out with a whimper, didn't they, really?
They did, really.
When they started losing under Rude, and they obviously thought, do you know what? We're in for a penny, in for a pound with him. It's going to cost us too much to sack him or whatever. And they've obviously gone, let's just write it off.
But the thing is, are they gonna stick with him for next season? Is he going to want to stick with them for next season?
That's the question.
That is the question.
They must do, because otherwise they'd have got rid of him and given themselves a chance.
You just don't know, because if they do get rid of him, then it's more bad news on an already awful season.
But why wouldn't they have done it by now?
I don't know. I really don't know. But I bet what they will start doing soon is just playing some of the young lads ready for next season.
Would they have a clause in the contract where if you get relegated, Rude, we have an option to sack you?
Possibly, yeah.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, that's a thing, yeah. If they get relegated, they can sever ties or whatever like that.
I think it's just sad, you know, when we got promoted last season in the Championship, and the high of it all, and how hard you work in the Championship, like 2 games a week, and you're just slogging it out at like teams that you like. Obviously, before you play in Premier League, and then you go into Plymouth. No disrespect to Plymouth, but you're going to Plymouth on a Tuesday night, and you're slogging it out, and you win it, and then just to like whimper out of the Premier League like that. But yeah, it's football.
Premier League, mate. Brutal.
Premier League.
Quiz time.
Quiz time. We rating the top, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, love it.
Nude.
Really nice.
It's lovely, isn't
Mexico.
it?
Yeah.
Good job Anthony Robinson's not here, else he'd cut you in half.
Yeah, it's lovely that.
Don't get too. My pits are sweating so much.
Same here.
Don't get too close to the
Walking
pits.
the wrong colour as well
Yeah,
today.
it's an inferno in there.
Two about like that.
This one as well, I'm boiling.
Oh
Got
my
a dab
god.
on him, all right.
Nikos dab his ass. Right, let's go. Come
Right, question 1. Can you name the only club in the Premier League to begin with an R?
But
Can you
now,
name the only club in Premier League history to begin with an R?
Reading.
Reading.
Well done.
Correct answer.
Well done.
on. See, that's a bad start. That is, Jay.
it is a bad start.
Honestly, that's an awful start. In fact, and you know it as well.
No.
Come on, it can only get better.
Okay.
I agree with the audience. Bring back Luke.
It can only get better.
Question 2. Bradford and Coventry both got relegated in the 2001 season, but what other current Premier League club got relegated with them?
Palace.
No.
What season was it, sorry?
2001 season.
Could be.
And it was Coventry and...
He's
Bradford.
playing, yeah. He's playing.
Bradford and Coventry both got relegated in the 2001 season, but what other current Premier League club got relegated with them?
Ipswich.
No.
Ooh, here we go.
5, 4, 3.
Southampton.
No. All back in.
Leicester.
No.
Forest.
No. You're all out. Manchester City got relegated with them.
Damn.
Yeah.
Is that the one on the final day of the season where they got pumped by Middlesbrough, or did Middlesbrough pump them?
I'm not too
Do you
sure.
remember? It was like 8 or something like that.
Don't remember.
I think it was Man City pumping Middlesbrough.
I wasn't alive.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah,
It was.
I'd say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nicky Weaver in goal, I think it
Yeah,
was.
Stuart
Nicky
Downing
Weaver.
played, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
Question 3. Which player is top of all-time minutes played in the Premier League? In the history
Ben
of the...
Foster.
No. You're third.
Ryan Giggs.
No.
Brad Friedel.
No. All back in. Which player is top of the all-time minutes
Check.
played in Premier League history? No.
Tim Howard.
No.
Shay Given.
No. All back in.
David De Gea.
David De Gea is the correct answer.
Well, that's not true.
All back in.
It is.
Nice.
David
No
De Gea.
way that David De Gea has played the most minutes in
David De
Premier League
Gea has
history.
played 37,289 minutes. Ashley Young in second, 36,585. And you're in third, 34,959.
Right, massive problem with this question.
Here we go.
The stats for it, from what you're reading, only start from like 2010 or something.
Yeah, but that's always been the stats.
No.
And plus, no, it's not 2010.
Right, so you're
Buckle
telling
up,
me
Mark.
that David James, who has made like 580 Premier League appearances, has not played more minutes than David De Gea?
It's not on the list, Ben, unfortunately.
It's a wrong question, Luke. I promise
for
you.
the whole season.
It's a wrong
It's
question.
been that way for the whole season.
One-
David James is on the
1-0.
other ones.
Yeah.
It's a wrong
Yeah.
question. Get in the comments down below.
1-1-0. Thanks, Jay. Great question. Great question.
Question 4. Who was the captain of the Arsenal squad in their invincible season?
Tony Adams.
No.
Vieira.
Gilberto Silva.
No. Do you say?
Vieira.
Vieira is the correct answer. Well done, Mark. You happy with that one?
Yep, good.
1-0.
Question 5. Which Serbian has the most appearances in
Mitrovic.
Premier League history? No. Which? No.
Can't be that simple.
Which Serbian has the most appearances in Premier League history?
Serbian.
I don't know anymore.
You will know.
Vidic is Serbian, right?
Vidic is third, yeah. 211 he's got. Got 2 people above him. 5, 4, 3, 2,
Can't help you.
1. All back in. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Second place, Matic, Nemanja Matic, United.
Yeah, good.
And number 1, Branislav Ivanovic.
Oh, it's good. Yeah, that's a good one.
274.
Never quite sure on...
Nah.
With
you
that
don't
part
want
of
to say
Europe,
it.
I'm never quite
Yeah.
sure of the...
Yeah, the Eastern
Yeah.
Bloc.
Yeah.
Does you?
Don't want to get absolutely smashed up in the comments.
Yeah.
Iriola replaced what manager at Bournemouth?
Scott Parker.
No, in June
Gary
2023.
O'Neill.
Gary O'Neill is the correct answer. Mark's running away with
Mark
it.
is absolutely dusting us.
3-1-0.
Why'd you emphasise the nil? That was mean.
Because you slated me for my quiz question.
Hey, he's got
They've
beef
been like that
with
the
you now.
whole season.
Got sweaty palm.
Yeah.
Sweaty everything.
Question 7. Where did Manchester City sign Omar Marmoush from?
Frankfurt.
Frankfurt is the correct answer. Well done, Tom. Question 8. Jermaine Defoe has had a successful career in England and Scotland, but what other country has he played club football
USA.
in?
America.
No.
Well, he did.
No.
Canada.
You're out.
I'm out.
You're out.
We've just given that to him. I know.
He said the answer.
I know.
He said the answer before.
But it's wrong.
Do you want
It's wrong.
It's a stab in the dark, yeah. Canada?
Canada is the correct answer. Well done.
It's-
He played for Toronto FC.
He beat me to saying
He's
America,
playing
though.
in MLS.
So what was
Hey,
the question?
I'll take it. I will take it.
Jermaine Defoe has had a successful career in England and Scotland, but what other country has he played club football
Yeah,
in?
it's good.
And club football is Canada. So
It's a good question.
Yeah.
in
it's good.
reference, it's like Cardiff and
No, it's
Swansea.
good. We get it. We get it. We get it. We get it.
It's a good.
Good.
You've pulled the wool over our eyes.
Yeah, it's good.
But I wanted you guys to jump in with USA, and you did.
That's what you should be doing. Love that.
Well done, you're off the mark. Well done.
Thank you.
A gift from
It was
us.
like an
That was
own
well.
goal, really.
It was like an
wasn't
alley-oop,
I feel
wasn't
like I
it? Yeah.
deserve that one.
it was deflected. It was like the Robertson deflected goal.
What was it? 3-2-1.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Question 9. Who is QPR's highest Premier League goal scorer?
Let's try
Charlie
that.
Austin.
Les Ferdinand's the correct answer, taking it to 3-3.
Me and you, mano a mano. Unless.
No. Yeah. Final question. I'm going to stay out of this one. That's,
No, don't, because it's a tiebreaker anyway.
okay.
By the way, if the stats were wrong on the Premier League, Les Ferdinand wouldn't even be there, would he, with his goals?
My
So
heart
the minutes
rate
would
is
count.
jacked.
What?
Just
I didn't say Les Ferdinand.
no, but I'm saying if you know the minutes asked question, you
Yeah.
said the stats started from like 2010. I swear QPR were in the Premier League before 2010, weren't they?
Carry on.
Anyway, question 10. We're finishing with a career path question.
Oh.
I have played for York City, Norwich City, Shrewsbury Town loan, Everton, Atalanta, Ipswich Town loan. I have played for York City, Norwich City,
I think I know it. I do
Shrewsbury
know it.
Town loan, Everton,
Ben Godfrey?
Atalanta,
Yeah,
Ipswich Town
it is.
loan. The answer is Ben
You
Godfrey.
do. That's unreal.
That
That's
is
very
incredible.
good.
Tom takes it away from Mark,
very
making it
good.
4-3.
Great effort, mate.
Well done.
So what? It's fine.
You
It's
rep
fine.
the guests incredibly well there, mate.
It's great.
It's like Liverpool and Arsenal now, and he chucked it in the January window.
Yeah.
Right,
When
hold
he
on.
didn't do his homework, didn't
So-
do enough quizzes.
David James, yeah.
Oh my God.
572 Premier League appearances, yeah. David De Gea, Premier League appearances.
Okay.
572, yeah. David De Gea.
David James, 562.
415, yeah? Mm-hmm. So, how is it possible that David De Gea, having made 415 Premier League
There's
appearances,
a flaw in...
and David James making 572, how has David De Gea played more minutes than David
There's
James?
certain stats on the Premier League website through Oracle. There's certain stats that only go back a certain way. So goals will be all the way back, but when you're talking like minutes and stuff, there's like a cut-off point for the stats.
Games used to be shorter back in the day. Don't shout out the Premier League. Don't come to me. I'm just using their resources.
I'm just trying to highlight my plight here, okay?
Okay.
So what would that have done to the quiz?
Would you have?
I think we take a point off of you.
No.
Yeah?
No.
What, do you want to take it to a tiebreaker?
I think we should take a point off of him, give it to me just because I found the fault, yeah, which takes it to...
Who's the referee here, Ben or Jamie?
I'm just hearing him.
What was the tiebreaker anyway? Come on.
Well, the tiebreaker is closest to. So it's how much did Arsenal sign Patrick Vieira for?
4.5 million.
Got to get closest too. So you all get an answer.
9.2.
8.3.
The answer is 3.5 million. So Tom would have
He's
been
a
the closest.
scumbag, isn't he?
It's 3 or 4.
Such a
but-
weasel.
Yep. Well done, guys. That was the quiz today.
Well done,
Tom.
mate. Well done. I said it couldn't
Alright.
get any worse.
Okay.
It had to get better, and it just got worse.
Because he didn't win.
Cheers, Jay. Love that. Thanks, Mark.
Yeah,
Appreciate that.
cheers, fellas. Thank you very
Enjoy Leicester tonight and then Villa tomorrow. Well done.
Yes, I will do.
See you guys. Thank you.